Hi, my name is Fargate, and in this video I will walk you through the entire process of deploying a Laravel Docker container on AWS ECS, including setting up a MySQL database on AWS RDS. If you have been looking to take your containerized application to cloud, this tutorial is for you. So let's begin. As my last video, I have containerized my existing Laravel application, and here it is running on Docker on port 8090. If I look into it here by just typing docker ps, it is showing 8090 and it is running here on my system in a Docker container. Further on, if I look into the images, what image it has created, Docker image, it has created Laravel app. This image is here. Now I want to run my application now on AWS ECS. So here AWS console has been open, and here we are going to run our application. But before doing that, what we have to do, a couple of steps, and those steps are, if I show you here, let me open an env file. So here in this env, I am using a database MySQL, which is also here on my system as another container. So if I look here, 3308 here, it is another container MySQL2, and I'm calling this or using to connect with this database using a DNS name MySQL2 here. So before moving my application onto AWS ECS, I have to migrate the database first onto AWS. So once the database has been migrated, then I will create my image here on my system. Similarly, I have to recompile the image, Laravel app here, and then it will be uploaded. Why I cannot use directly this application? Once this image will be uploaded to AWS, it has pointed to database which is on my system. So it is pointing to MySQL2. So if I upload my application as it is on AWS, then ECS won't be able to connect to MySQL2 because it don't know what is MySQL2. So I have to first configure RDS. So let's start configuring our RDS. So here my RDS console has been open. I have to go here, database instances, and I have to create a database to use this easy create MySQL and dev test. Let me select this free tier. Ubuntu database instance is fine. Master username, maybe I'm more comfortable with root. Uh, Myself is fine. Auto generate the password, which is fine, and that's it, I believe. Let's first create the database, and in the meanwhile, let me also take the dump of my existing database, uh, which is currently operating this application. So I have to take the dump of my existing database. So I come up over here and dump database. If I do have created this, close. This has been created here. MySQL database. It is doing some configuration enhancement. Let it finish, and then we will reconfigure it accordingly. So here, database is now available. I have to look into a few more configuration here. like it should be accessible publicly. So for this, what I have to do, I have to go to modify, and here, so publicly it is not accessible. I have to make it accessible. Port is fine, 3306, which is default port, and even connectivity is fine. I will configure the default group later on, and database is also been created. So here, and I made it publicly accessible. So few points need to be noted. I have already copied the password, and here is the endpoint. So this would be the endpoint we will be used to connect our database. So I have, let me copy this also. This is the password. But here, let me try to connect this database using MySQL from my system, directly from my system. So it seems I'm not able to connect. So let me do something and need to allow the connection. So here is the security group. Let's check the security group, what it's allowed in inbound direction. So here I have the security group ID, and this is inbound rule, this is outbound rule. So outbound everything has been allowed, and inbound only the security group can access, but we want from our system to access the database. So I'm just using my lazy approach here and allow everything from my system, and not only from my system, from anywhere. So this is insecure. Please do not use this. I'm using it as an example. Instead of this, what you can do, you can allow only the IP addresses of your application server or from your own network, the network that you know about it. So after doing it, so it's been allowed. Let me do it again if I'm able to do it. So here is the password. Now I'm able to log into database. So if I do show databases, is there any database? No, there is uh, the usual databases, but not the one that we require. We require the database. How we can check that? So we can check using cat.env, the database that we have used. Uh, Database name is DemoDB, so we have to create a database name with DemoDB, and let's do it. So here is the database. Okay, uh, that's fine. I'm just copying the database which I have take the dump on my system earlier. So here is the database. Let me again connect to MySQL. So I have to create a database here, DemoDB. So DB has been created. Then use I have select this database, use DemoDB, and what I'm going to do, I need to import all things here. So I need to source and the file name, the dump file that I have created here. So it's importing the database. So this has been imported. Let's also connect on DBABus. that our database has been configured. Test connection. It's been connected. Finish. So here my database has been connected and it's been accessing publicly. Now I have to edit my env. So currently here I'm using my local database. Now my RDS has been configured, so I have to use RDS for my this current application. So let's do it. We have to open env and edit the database values over there. So here, instead of MySQL2, what I need to put here, database host. Here is the database host. I need to copy and put it here. Code is fine, database is fine, username is also fine, password is different. So here is my password. Now it should be using my database. So let me refresh it. So this is using my uh, database that I have put it onto what we call it RDS. Here it is. So demo DB here, all the table and everything that I have configured, I put it here. Now I have to create the image. So that image should have env as well, because in my last video I have discussed about the way I have told you. You do not need to compile your image every time whenever you are changing any configuration. So I have changed the env, but inside it's been reflected, but not in the image. So go back to the video. There I have a copy command in which I have copied all the elements of my existing directory to the image. So what I have to do here, for the simplicity, I'm just taking it down. Docker compose down. So it is taking down the container and I have to rebuild it again. Okay, and then I have to do docker compose up dash dash build, forcefully building the container. So here my container has been rebuilt. So all those steps is forcefully building the container. So but I forget to put minus d tag over there. So it is inside the container. So let me stop it. Now instead of build, because it's been built with minus d, let me make it up. So it is here. Now instead for the running application, which is fine, which is working fine here, and I can add any record. Let me add a record. So that is fine. I have added it here. So that's been pushed to the database. Let's come up here, and now instead for the running container, we are more interested in the image. So what image it has created? Docker images. Now it has the image about a minute ago, and here is the image Laravel app. Now I have to push this image to AWS ECR, Elastic Container Registry. So here is my AWS. So let's search for ECR. Here is my ECR registry. There is nothing has been created. So any name that we can use. Let's use my blog app. Any name you could use here. My blog app. Okay, and leave everything as is. And let's create it. So it has created a private repository, and repository is here. So we have to push into this repository our image. So here they are showing the view push images. So here are the images. It is just simply saying then you have to first log into. So here it is showing that first we have to log into our ECR, and this is the command they are just giving it. So we have to log in, and then we have to build. By the way, we have already built. So this step we are going to skip, and then we have to tag our image. Currently we have the name here, Laravel app. We are going to tag it with this name, and then we are going to push it like this. Okay. So before doing that, if I copy this command and try to run it here, let's do that. It is giving me error. Why? Because before doing that, I have to set AWS credential or a secret access key on my system. So what I need to do here, before using those commands, I have to go to IAM, and I have to create credential here. So come here, user, provide a user to AWS management console. No, it is not needed because I just need a CLI. Add user to a group or attach a policy directly. So again, this is a lazy way of doing it. You have to choose accordingly what kind of permission you are giving it. But I'm selecting administrator access, so it will have all the access for every service. So this is here. Uh, I have created a user. So user has been created, and now go to the security credentials, and here I have to create access key. Okay, I have to create access key. So access key, it is asking for which kind of purpose or what do you want to do with this. So I'm saying command line interface. So it is giving some sort of warning, and I have to click here to understand all. And any tag do you want? I don't want anything. So let's also download the CSV, and after recording this video I'm going to delete this user and everything. So I should not be worried about that my credential will be leaked, but when you will be doing it, do extra care because these credentials could be dangerous to share publicly or share with anyone. So I have these here, and I need to configure it. AWS configure, AWS configure. So it is asking me to put this key, secret access key, and secret access key ID and access key. And I am in the US East one. So this is the zone, and let's come up here and let's check in which zone I am. I am in US East 1, so that is fine. US East 1, just putting enter. Default output is JSON, that is fine. Now I have configured a credential which is giving me an administrator access. So I should be able to, sorry, I should be able to push my image or log in first to ECR. So let's do that again. Now it is saying login succeeded. Earlier it was giving error, here error. Now login is succeeded. So now what I have to do here next, I don't need to build the command. I just need to tag it. So let's copy the tag command here. Let me put it here. So it is saying docker tag this image into these long image. So actually I don't have my blog app latest. Instead of it, I do have here this command Laravel app with tag latest. So I have to copy this command, or I have to copy this image name, not the command. So here, that's it. Now it's saying docker tag Laravel app latest to this one. So let me copy it, and I need to execute this command here. This has been tagged. So if I run this command again, docker images, now I have this image as well with tag. Basically it's the same image, but I have put another tag. So with the tag it has created another entry. Now what I have to do, I need to push this to, I need to use this command. So just copy this command, I'm copying this command, and I just need to do it like this. Now it is pushing my image up to ECR. So let it finish. So now the image has been pushed. Let's verify that do I have anything inside it. Now I have the image here. So image tag is latest and image has been pushed. Now next thing what I need to do here, I just need to configure my ECS, Elastic Container Service. So for Elastic Container Service database, we have already configured on RDS, and we have our application image on ECR. Now we have to configure ECS. So in configuring ECS, there are a couple of things that we need to do. Here first we need to configure or create a cluster, and after that we need to create task definition. And once these two has been done, using the task definition inside the cluster, I'm going to create the service, and that service will run the container. So let's start it, and it will be quite easy to understand, and it is not difficult. So cluster app, and it's a Fargate container, serverless Fargate container, and monitoring is optional, encryption and everything. That is fine. So a cluster has been created. It is creating actually a cluster. So the cluster has been created. Now inside the cluster, I need to create a service. Here it is saying the service, but service requires a task definition. So first let's create the task definition. So here let's create the task definition. Task definition family name. My long app Laravel, just name it like this, and I'm using serverless AWS Fargate, instead of this much. Okay, fine. 1 GB memory, and then it is saying a task role. Task role, we need to create the task role as well. So here I'm choosing it, ECS task execution role. So why it is needed? Uh, Let me define to you, because I have used earlier this service, ECS service. So that is why ECS task execution role is already exists. So that is a simple role that you can create. Let me guide you. IAM. You have to come to role and you have to create a role. So the role name is ECS task execution role. So here let me define what does this role holds up the permission. It holds up the permission ECS task execution policy. So it has to connect to ECR and download it, and it has to log its stream and everything to Amazon CloudWatch. So once you create a task execution role, these permissions will be added. But here I would like to access RDS database as well. So in this task execution role, so I have to add the permission here. AWS RDS full access. I'm just approaching a lazy way, lazy approach. You have to give only the required permission. So I'm giving it here AWS RDS full access. This has been added. Now my ECS container will be able to access RDS. And then what's the container name? My blog app and image URI I have to give here. So image URI I'm going to take it, copy URI here. I have the URI and image URI. I need to paste it like this. Now it is asking, is it an essential container? Yes, it is. And private registry authentication, that is fine, because task execution rule has been added. So it is saying my application is running on which port, container is on which port. So if I do quickly docker ps, my application is inside running on port 8080 here, 8080. So I have to put here port 8080. That is fine. Port name could be anything. App dash 8080. Let's name it like this. Add port to mapping. That is fine. That is also fine. And it is saying create Amazon CloudWatch log. That is also fine. Restart policy. Uh, Keep it as is. Health check, container timeout, startup, and everything. And here we need to pass Docker configuration as well, because if we don't pass the Docker configuration, it will be it will not start. So here I need to put the command. So my container will be keep running. That command from where I will be getting. Let me grab dockercompose.yaml. So by the way, in my last video I have discussed in detail the dockercompose.yaml as well. So here I have the command composer, and now it's been copied. So the docker cmd is passed to the container. So this is the command that I need over there. Leave everything as is. So task definition is been created. Now it's time to create the container. Go inside my cluster. and then create a service. That is fine. So we need to select the service instead of the task because this service supposed to be running all the time. Here need to select the task definition, and here is the revision, which is 1. Need to put the service name, my app, okay, and desired task 1, deployment option, deployment failure detection. Leave it as is because you don't need to do anything here. And it is a default configuration. Here in networking, and here I have this default group, public IP is on. Load balancing, that I will be covering in my next lecture. Service auto scaling, volumes and everything. Let's create this. So it might take some time to create and activating it. And in the meantime, as it has the default security group, and this default security group is saying in inbound direction, so security group can access everything, and the above 306 has been accessible, but my container would be running on 8080 ports here, so I just need to allow 8080 as well. So 8080 has been allowed. Let's wait to be container. Let's put the container. So now this is the task which is going into a pending state. So if everything is fine, it will be going into a running state. So it is showing in a running state, and it is saying exited. And why it's been exited? It is saying compose uninstall and command -R and this and that. So this is a different command, so it is not recognizing it, and it's been restarted. So it is going into a cycle of restart. So that means the task definition we have put here, the command we have just put it over there, it's not okay. So we need to put the command accordingly. That should work. Actually, I need to task definition. Come here, I need to create a revision in which I have to modify this command. So if I come over there, so Docker configuration. So here I have put the command like this. Actually, this is the same command that I have given it here. Command here. So I have to keep it like this. I have to put after separating by a comma. So everything I have passed it like that. So let's try that. I need to update it, and instead of this I need to put the latest one. But what is the task definition? Actually I have tried couple of task definitions there. Let me double check the required configuration it has. Yes, seems to be. And now let's do this force new deployment and update it. Let's see what happens. It is provisioning another container. Let's check that it has the logs as well, ready to handle the connection. It seems container is up. Now let's try to access the container, but what is the IP address of the container? How we are going to access it? So let's test. Let's come up here, and what is IP? Here is the public IP. Let's check that. Oh, now the application is been running on my ECS. So let's try to do something. Let's try to add thing, because this is the post that I have put from my system. Now this has been running as a serverless container on Amazon ECS. So let's try to create another post. So this has been created. So this is how we are converting our application, or migrating our container or the image to Amazon ECS, and it is running. In next video, we are going to create a CI/CD pipeline, in which as soon as we will be pushing our code, source code, uh, to the repo, it will be start igniting our pipeline or initiating the pipeline, and pipeline will be creating an image and deploy that image to ECS. And in that we will be covering that how we are going to put our load balancer in front of the container, and then from the load balancer we can put web application firewall, we can configure CloudFront as well. So there are certain benefits, and no one usually actually exposing their application directly on a port. So it's considering a kind of less secure way or insecure way. So that is how we are going to do that. So I hope this has been informative for you, and thank you for watching my video. Let's stay tuned for the next video, and do comment whatever your questions may be. Thank you.